So I don't know where you are in the world, but in the UK, we're going up to 17 degrees. That's Celsius. And that's pretty warm for us. I say warm because we ain't had those sorts of temperatures for a long time. So if you're in a hot part of the world, yeah, it doesn't compare. Definitely doesn't compare. And I've always found that the UK, you know, when it's hot, it's a horrible hot. Like when it's really, really hot, which doesn't happen very often. So our summers seem to not last very long. But when it's hot, it's hot. So when I've been to like other countries, their hotness is just different. I don't understand. I don't get it. Same sun, different thing, different, yeah. But it is what it is. A nicer day. So I'm just on my way to work right now. But I plan to, when I did my walk the other day, I saw a lot of wild garlic, so I brought a plastic bag. I do have a foraging bag, but so I brought a plastic bag with me, so I might go and pick some after that. But yeah, it's Thursday. Hope you've all had a good week so far. We're approaching the end of the week, so if you've got any weekend plans, any special plans, I hope the weather is on your side to do those things. But I guess at the same time, don't let the weather dictate your life. Definitely don't dictate your life. But yeah, so I don't really have a topic of discussion. I know it's very early. I'll see if anyone joins. I'm happy to answer questions, but I guess I always pretty much make it free flow. So whatever comes to me. Did a couple of live videos yesterday. Had some people join, asked some questions, which was nice. I've already mentioned that if you're an Instagram follower, I will no longer be doing Instagram lives. So this will be the place you see all my live videos or the live content, and then I'm just using Instagram specifically more for creating, posting videos of like whatever I'm doing. But yeah, this is definitely the place to come if you want to watch my videos. If you're new here, my channel is all about fasting, cleansing, detox, growing your own foods, indoor and outdoors, foraging, just whole health and well-being approach. I guess it's probably a little bit different to the Western approach of things, but if you're someone that's looking for a natural way of living, I definitely I definitely practice what I preach. I definitely have the experience. If you're new, I did a 200-day juice cleanse where I went 200 days without eating any food. So I've documented that. The videos are actually on YouTube as well as Instagram. Grand Rising all. Thank you for joining. So yeah, if this is something that you're interested in, as we are in spring now, this is the time where things start to flourish. This is the time where things start to grow. As you can see, the sun is just beaming straight through, which doesn't really happen here in the UK. But this is a perfect time to definitely go in, detox, cleansing. You know, you have the weather to support you along the way. This is actually March was when I started my first ever detox cleanse, which was my 200-day juice fast. You know, I only intended to do 3 days. I ended up going 200 days without stopping. So yeah, I definitely have the experience to back it up. I definitely help and support people along the way. I share a lot of free content, a lot of free information, but for those that want to take it a little bit further, I do offer one-on-one support which you'll be able to find through my link tree, which is connected to the YouTube channel and also my Instagram channel as well. But yeah, I do a lot of fasting. I do typically, well, for the last few months I've been doing a lot of more dry fasting, so I'll go 20 to 24 hours every day without eating or drinking anything. You know, my performance is still like A1. I'm sharp, I'm clear, I'm not irritable, I'm not really ruled by food. My demeanor, my attitude doesn't change. I don't get hungry like the average person will get hungry, you know. And I talk a lot about parasites, you know, all that stuff. So yeah, if you have any questions, if you're here, you've joined Grand Rising, if you have any questions, do feel free to drop a comment down below. But yeah, this is me, just currently on my way to work. I usually have a topic of discussion, but things just literally flow through, and things just come. So yeah. But I just mentioned earlier that I'll be going foraging today. When I went for a community walk the other day, which I led, I found some wild garlic, so I have my bag with me, and I'm going to collect that. Also, I do a lot of growing my own foods indoors, and I do a lot of preserving, so I do a lot of fermenting of foods. Now I know that when sometimes a lot of people may hear fermenting and they think, oh, mold, they think gone off food, you know. And I think this is definitely a big misconception and a misunderstanding, you know. And yeah, so there's different ways in which you can preserve. So you might know of what's it called, pickling foods. Now when you pickle your foods, you're actually using vinegar as a way of preserving, and the living live foods, there's no living, the foods are no longer alive. So you know, when you eat raw foods, it's living. And there's an acronym which is HOPE, and it stands for hormones, oxygen, phytonutrients, and what's the last one? E, enzymes. So when your food is living, it has all these things. So when you're preserving your food, so yeah, you may have heard of probiotics and prebiotics. Probiotics is the living, the raw living enzymes that are in your foods, and you get those from, you may have heard of kimchi, you may have heard of sauerkraut, you may have heard of what else is there? Kimchi, sauerkraut. But yeah, I do fermenting. I ferment the foods that I grow, which are sprouts. So I do, like, you may have heard of like microgreens, but or you may have heard of bean sprouts. So bean sprouts are actually from mung beans. But I do broccoli sprouts, red clover sprouts, alfalfa sprouts, fenugreek sprouts. I do a whole range of sprouts to ferment. And when you ferment these small living things, they actually contain more nutrients than the actual counterpart, the mature counterpart. So if you have a whole broccoli, the actual sprouts itself contains more nutrients than the mature, and it ranges, it depends on what it is, but it ranges from around 50 to 100 times more nutrients in them. So yeah, that's my gig, that's what I'm about, that's what I do, and I'm still learning, still growing. I definitely believe that, you know, I'll never be a master of anything. I feel like once you've kind of put that place, that hold on your growth, your potential, you stop growing. Yeah, that's what I believe. I believe you stop growing because you're saying that you know it all, so you put a ceiling on your growth. But for me, I am always growing, I'm always open-minded, always willing to learn. Yeah, I don't think you can ever know too much, you know. So my motto is I'll forever be a student. And yeah, that's that really. But yeah, if you're new, you just found this channel, that's what it's all about. But yeah, so I'm actually going to do a leaflet drop today. I have my leaflets for my raw gourmet foods, raw vegan foods that I've been creating, making and delivering. So I'm going to go to specific areas to do that, as I don't really want to travel too far. So yeah, if you think that raw vegan foods are just, it is. If you think it's just fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and what else? Yeah, nuts and seeds. And you think that it's just that, believe me, you can do a whole lot more with them. And I've got a lot of content of the stuff that I've created with these ingredients. I've always been a creative person. I've always been someone that enjoys preparing food, making food. Obviously before I went raw, and this is raw vegan by the way, raw plant-based, not raw carnivore. Before I did all that, I was cooking and baking quite a lot of foods, experimenting from a very, very young age. My mum taught me how to cook. She made sure that I was self-sufficient growing up. So yeah, so it's never too late to learn anything. Don't worry about your age, you know, it is just a number. I know many people struggling, suffering at a young age, when typically you'd think that, you know, these things or these occurrences happen when you're much older. But yeah, it's definitely we have a choice in this life, and you know, if things are happening, you have the choice and the option to change it. It just depends on how determined and motivated you are to do that. You know, I found that my biggest breakthroughs and my biggest transformation has happened through those heavier, denser situations. I won't say bad situations, because situations are just situations. You know, as opposed to having the good times. You know, when you're in the good times, I don't really think much growth happens necessarily, but I feel like more growth happens in those denser, heavier times. So yeah, that's just my own observation. Obviously everyone has their own opinion on that. So yeah, the one only Morgs wants a shout out. There's your shout out. Grand rising to you. Grand rising to all of you that are here. I do advise you, if you're new here, do check out my other content. Check out my other videos. I have a lot of content. You know, I have a lot of content, and a lot of everything that I speak and talk about is real lived experiences. If you're a new subscriber here, welcome. If you're just passing by, you just happen to have flicked, nothing happens by coincidence. Nothing happens by coincidence. So if you're here, there's a reason. Maybe maybe there's some bits of information that needs to be planted into your subconscious, and then, you know, whenever the time is right, I'm sure it will make its way to your consciousness. But in this world, people, you know, you gotta mind your mind, you gotta be self-aware, you gotta be accountable, because without accountability and without self-awareness, it's very hard to grow. But if you have one of those components, then you're halfway there. And if you have none of those components, it's a journey within itself. So if you have at least one of those things, then you're halfway there. But yeah, definitely, I can't say which one's the bigger thing, because they both go hand in hand. But you have to be accountable. You can't be pointing fingers. It's so easy to point the finger. It's harder to be accountable. Sometimes, you know, it's just easy to push the blame, you know. But you're the only person that's in control of your experience. You know, you have the choice, you have the decision. If you decide to be happy or sad, and that may sound a little cliche, you know, you can have happy moments, happy times. Many people that are unhappy believe that you have to be smiling from cheek to cheek 24 hours if you're a happy person. But believe it or not, I don't smile from cheek to cheek 24/7, but I have an internal happiness. I have an internal peace. I have an internal knowing. I have an internal gratitude. I'm grateful for everything that happens and has happened in my life. And fasting, I will talk about it till I'm no longer in this realm, but fasting is and has been one of the most transformative things that I've ever experienced. You know, if you're, you know, I think I spoke about this yesterday. If you're someone that, you know, I think in this world, especially in this Western world, we think that you've got to have physical problems. I think people think that you've got to be physically, have physical problems to have a problem, when depression is a problem, anxiety is a problem. It's an internal problem. There's something happening internally. There's something's not aligned. There's not a cleanliness. There's not a free flow of energy, which is causing the stagnation, which is causing your problems and your issues. You know, being overweight is a problem and is an issue. You know, in this world, we've been taught to not glamorize, but to kind of accept and embrace being overweight, you know. But the reality of it is, by design, naturally by design, your body is so intelligent that when you're in a fasting state, or when you're fasting, yes, you shed the weight, but what you're shedding is waste matter. And when I went on my long protocol, my long cleanse, my body got rid of a lot of waste, right? But what happens is the very, very foods, the liquids, the juices that I was having, that my body was cleaning out from using, then started to rebuild on the exact same foods that it cleansed, that it lost all the weight on, right? Your body is so intelligent that you can never comprehend and understand it. A lot of people don't know how they feel. You know, to truly feel how you feel is a gift within itself. Although I've cleansed so much, I'm not 100% clean. My goal is not to be 100% clean. my goal is to present, enjoy life, but cleanliness is a byproduct. They say that cleanliness is next to godliness. Now, I don't know if you believe that, I don't know what you believe in, but it's a fact. It's a fact. You know, so no matter where you are at, no matter where you're sitting, no matter how you're feeling, you have the power to change. You have the power to completely transform your life. You have the power to do all these things, but you just have to believe in it. You just have to want it. Right? I'm not here selling you a quick fix thing. The quickest thing that I believe that will shift you would be fasting. I'll be honest with you, right? I'm not here to sell a course. No matter what I tell you or say to you, you know, I would never tell you this is gonna do a particular thing for you, because it's your own experience anyway, right? I'm not here to do that. I'm here to make you accountable. I'm here to support you, right? So even if you're working with me one-on-one, I'm not doing anything. It's you that's doing it. I can only help and support you. They say you can take a horse to water, but you can't make the horse drink, right? And that's all it is. Words are powerful. Words are extremely powerful. You know, sometimes you may see the end product. You may see the end product of people's journeys. You know, you may see the glitz and the glamour of certain things. You may see people posting online. You may see these celebrities, these famous people posting online, smiling, but you know, that's 1 second out of a 24-hour day. Realize that this is what, like, you'll hear a lot of rich and famous people say that money didn't make them happy. This is why you see people chasing and chasing and chasing, buying and buying and buying, because they're not happy. They don't have that internal happiness. I'm telling you for a fact, right? They say money will change you. All right. Money won't change me. It will give me more experiences. It will give me more opportunities, right? I'm not gonna go out and be buying like this car and that car, this car and that car. I'm satisfied. I'm content. Like, my car's taking me from A to B. I don't need more than that. I genuinely don't need more than that. I'm not here to people please. And that's another thing. People pleasing. You know, once you cleanse your vessel, once you cleanse your system, you have a free flow of energy. We are compromised. I keep saying this. We are composed. We are made up of mostly water, right? Now, when you're putting things into your system, when you're surrounding yourself with certain people, certain frequencies, right? You can block that system. Now, I'll give you an analogy. You'll wash your plates and your sinks. You'll wash your plates and your cutlery, right? You'll wash them. Hold on, let me check the time. You'll wash them. I gotta end this soon. You gotta wash them, right? I'm gonna end on this. You'll wash them. And from time to time, you might get bits of food that goes down that goes down the drain. Over time, that builds up. So over time, what do? You have to plunger it. You have to put some solutions down there to clean it. Now, when do we ever do that as humans? And I'm gonna end on this. I ended on this yesterday, but I want you to think about it. There's over 1 million species of animals in this world, right? Over 1 million. Aside from humans being one of them, tell me one other one that cooks their food, and I'll leave it at that. I hope you enjoy your day. Thank you for joining, and I'll catch you on the next one.